So many fans would love to see Red Dead Redemption made into a movie, but not many know that Rockstar Games have actually already released one, which was helmed by a famous director and even aired on TV, featuring exclusive scenes and moments that never made it into the finished game. You see, back in 2010, prior to its release, Red Dead Redemption was far from a surefire hit, and nowhere near as big of a franchise as it is today. And although it was technically a sequel to the 2004 game Red Dead Revolver, in reality Red Dead Redemption was so far removed from that game in terms of its gameplay, story and tone that it might as well have been an entirely new franchise. As such, for most gamers at the time, the fact that Red Dead Redemption was a Rockstar Studios project was probably the more noteworthy aspect of the game, especially given that they'd released the massively successful GTA 4 just 2 years prior. Either way, Rockstar Games likely knew that they were going to have to go hard on the marketing to ensure that Red Dead Redemption would become the success that they knew it could be. So, on the lead up to its release, they premiered a series of promotional gameplay videos to really try and showcase its new gameplay features and the unique world that they'd created.
Rockstar Games set out to capture the essence of the West in their first open-world game set in a rural environment. Red Dead Redemption.
Now, as impressive and as well made as these promos were, one aspect of the game that they couldn't quite convey in all its glory was the plot, which was kind of an issue given that it was arguably Red Dead Redemption's greatest strength, and the big draw for gamers who weren't particularly compelled by the idea of playing a Western-themed video game. So as a result, Rockstar Games decided to produce an official 30-minute short film to promote the game, using only in-engine footage with a view to air it on TV. And the name of this film was Red Dead Redemption: The Man From Blackwater, which was likely a nod to the 1955 western The Man From Laramie. Now, considering that for many this promotional film would likely be their first introduction to Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar had to do everything in their power to ensure that the movie made the game look as cinematic as possible. So given that writer Dan Houser had previously cited the 2005 western The Proposition as a big inspiration for Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar Games decided to hire its director John Hillcoat, who clearly had a strong understanding of the western genre. And to edit the movie, they somehow managed to secure Barry Alexander Brown, best known for being the go-to editor of Spike Lee for most of his films, including Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X. So Rockstar clearly wanted the movie to have a big impact. And so, on May 29, 2010, The Man From Blackwater aired on Fox in the US and later on 5 USA in the UK. Now, if you never got the chance to see it, the movie is essentially an abridged version of the first act of the game, following John Marston from the point that he arrives in Armadillo as he recruits allies such as Marshall Johnson, Nigel West Dickens, and Seth Briers to help him capture his former brother-in-arms, Bill Williamson. And clearly, the idea behind this was to give viewers a feel for the character of John Marston, introducing you to his personality and motivations while giving you a taste of the story, so as to encourage people to buy the game to see how it ends. But what makes The Man From Blackwater so interesting now is the way in which it differs from the game, weaving a new truncated story out of a larger pre-established narrative. For instance, many of the cutscenes taken from the game that feature in the movie are not used in the same chronological order or context, with Seth no longer following a treasure map to Tumbleweed, but rather Fort Mercer, and John now facing off against Bill Williamson in the fort itself, repurposing a cellar shootout from a different mission. On top of this, many of the cutscenes used are actually shot from different angles and include modified dialogue, to give Hillcoat and Brown room to put their own unique spin on the story, while also adding lots of establishing shots of John exploring and travelling in various locations from the game. They were also given the freedom to make entirely new cutscenes, including a scene of John scouting out Fort Mercer and a closing shot of him looking out of a barred window as Bill escapes on a horse, acting as a cliffhanger for this version of the story. However, probably the coolest new scene is the flashback of John with the Van der Linde gang, which at the time was the only official glimpse of that time period prior to the release of Red Dead Redemption 2. So if you've never seen The Man From Blackwater, it is well worth checking out, and is still available to watch online. But let me know below, were you one of those who actually saw it air live on TV, and what did you think of it at the time? Also, as the wait for a proper Red Dead Redemption movie continues, in the meantime you might want to check out this video right here.